Hello. Hello. Anybody here? Hello. Hello. Can you hear me okay? Hi, Beverly. Just thought I'd come on for a little bit and say hi for a bit. And I thought I'd also let you know that I uploaded the portion of the new trial. We should have it live tomorrow at some point. But we got the openings for prosecution, and I also got the jury instructions up. We're going to be working on seeing if we can get the defense. There were some issues technology-wise with the defense openings. That's the name of the trial is Kale. Was it Fly Shower? I can't pronounce it. But it's up there. It's spelled like this. I'll type it in the chat. I got a new keyboard. My husband bought me a keyboard, and so it takes me a minute to get used to it. That's the name of the new trial. So we'll have, that should be up sometime tomorrow. Hi, Larry. Hi, Edna. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Hi, Joe. Jolise. Did I say that right? Jolise? But oh, not much going on. Yeah, good. I'm glad I said that right. What time in the morning does trial start? The trial is out of Wisconsin, and I'm not sure of a time yet because we got to make sure our equipment gets there. It was a little rush trying to get it moved, get the equipment moved around with all the trials. So we're hoping to get it in there soon in the morning. So just, I'll be up at the normal time, 5:30 my time. But hopefully it'll be on in the morning. I'm not sure when the equipment is going to arrive to where it needs to be at the courthouse. But we do have the openings up in the playlist for it. So I know that was no help, but today was a very interesting day behind the scenes. Whew, with the Weinstein verdict. Oy, we'd rocked it though. The network did a wonderful job. All the stuff that I put up there with Aaron and stuff, Aaron hopped on real quick and did the verdict. It was great. Great job to the Law and Crime Network team. I try to be, Sheila. I may be too helpful sometimes. I also tend to giggle a lot. So sorry about that too. I'm drawing a blank. As far as topic, I have none. Yes, Kale Fleischauer is the title of the is the name of the guy. Yes, his 19-year-old son. There's a little bit of info in the description of the videos that I put up there, so you'll see that. I'll put more as the trial gets rolling and we get the page up on our main site tomorrow. I'll add more info to it. But right now we got that, just that little bit that I put in there. I can kind of give a little bit now. I can open it up. Hold on one second. Let me see here. So Kale Fleischauer is 44 years old. Was granted a retrial after being convicted in June 2019 of second-degree reckless homicide in the killing of his 19-year-old son. He was granted the new trial before his sentencing date. He was originally charged with first-degree intentional homicide, but in June, a jury returned a guilty verdict to the lesser charge of second-degree reckless homicide. The victim is Chase Fleischauer, died from a gunshot wound to the head. Prosecutors at the first trial claimed he had injuries consistent with beating, but the defendant claims that was from wrestling. The victim's sister, defendant's daughter, Summer, testified at the first trial about finding her brother's body. The defense is Fleischauer testified that he loved his son and would never shoot him. The defense claims the teen accidentally shot himself at his father's New Richmond home. Gunshot residue was not found on the defendant's hands, but was found on the son's. Prosecutors said the teen had injuries to his neck, arm, and ear inflicted by the father. The defense contends the two were just wrestling. So we'll have more on that or whatever when the info gets put out. But when the site gets put up on our main site. But that's it for right now. My prediction, I think I said yesterday, was that I felt the jury would find oh my goodness, Burns guilty with the DNA evidence, and that's how it came back. That trial's in Wisconsin. The new trial's in Wisconsin. And then for Weinstein, I always say Weinstein. Why not? It's spelled both the same on both parts. So my brain wants to go Weinstein, like Frankenstein. But for the Weinstein one, definitely guilty on that one. That was a no-brainer, in my opinion. Hi, Poetic, or PJ. Hi, Sheryl. Thank you. I need to brush it. I threw a scarf on my head, and that was all you got today. Anywho. Sorry, I should have put that on the screen. that Poetic said my hair was pretty, but I'm not going to put that up there because that would be too vain. So she says this. I'm just me and weird. I'm weird. Are you okay with weird? Oh. You thought I was weird in chat? It's a whole different weird in person. Uh, since I got booted out of my house when I was 23, yes, I was 23 and got booted out of my house. Long story. I was in a cult. I was still at home at 23, got booted out, and that's when I stopped cutting my hair or having my hair cut because I was supposed to keep my hair short at home and let it grow, and I kept it that late. That was in 1990. I kept it from 1990 to 2007 long, and then I had weight loss surgery and had to have my I chopped my hair off then, because how your hair kind of goes weird when you get surgeries. Well, I went through that phase in 2007, and that was only for about a year. So since about 2008, I haven't cut my hair. I cut it personally myself. I just trimmed the ends, but I put it in front and then kind of give it a little trim, but I don't cut it. I don't like haircuts. I had some color put in it back in September, and that's the first time I've sat in a salon chair in a long time. I just don't like people around my hair. My oldest is the same way too. He has hair almost as long as mine. Yes, he's very proud of his hair. He stopped cutting his when we moved to Washington in 2008. But that's when he decided he was no longer cutting his hair, and he has not cut it since. Oh no, I just read that Hope PJ feels better. Darn, I just read that. Sorry, going on about my hair, and poor PJ's sick. Eek. No. If you came here for a chat that is informative, unless you want to be informed about hair, that's about all the subject. Oh, I need a slew of different topics. I was thinking about doing some videos or something, like not live, but just put up a couple or something or other on some subject, but I don't know the subjects yet. I'm not really good at this whole live thing. Hi, Danette. Hi, Cheryl. Yes, Pardon got sentenced. His verdict is up in the archives. I don't know if you want us to tell you or you want to watch it yourself. We can spoil you if you want. Hi, Debbie. I need to wait, hold on. I got to take that off the screen. I don't need 20 minutes of, there we go. That's much better. Oh, Edna asked a question about my hair way back here. I did just now saw that. Sorry. Um, uh, I use what's it called? Argan oil occasionally. I don't, I also don't wash it as often as, most people with shorter hair will wash their hair every day. I don't wash my hair every day. I wash it when it looks at me and goes, "I need you to wash me." No, just but and I brush it. I try to brush it daily, but that may not always happen. I usually keep it up in a ponytail if I'm not on camera. So I know that sounds really bad, but um, just I take a lot of vitamins because of the weight loss surgery. So that might have a lot to do with it. Most of the time, people who have had the surgery that I've had lose a lot of their hair. And I have had some hair loss, but I still have a lot because I had a lot to begin with. My son has got really thick hair like mine. Um, but I just, that's all I do with it. Okay. Pardons sentence. Let's see here. He was guilty, wasn't he? Oh, I should know this right off the top of my head, but that was a couple days ago. I believe. Let me get the info right here. Hold on. Okay, so okay. Verdict. I'll just read what it has here. Verdict form 1B, deadlocked, unanimous life in prison without parole. Verdict 3B, mitigating factors, life sentence, life without parole. 12 signatures deadlocked, aggravated circumstances, unanimously without parole. 12 signatures, 9B, being deadlocked beyond doubt following life sentence, life without parole. 12 signatures, 9B, deadlocked, unanimous life sentence, life without parole. 12 signatures, and then they've dated the thing. So does that help? That was the way it was typed in behind the scenes. But they were said that they were deadlocked on that they could not um, do the death penalty. Yes, pardon. They decided that they were unanimously deadlocked, and so that made it automatic LWOP. Here you go. It's official. We do all. So, was that explanatorily Did I explain that well enough? So, I'm going to ask this out loud. Is it Justin or Justine? This is who I'm talking to. Is it Justine or Justin? Because I pronounce it Justin, like just in case. I know that's what it says, but I just wanted to know if it's a play on words. So it's Justine or Justin. Sentencing date for oh, let me Google that real quick. Hold on. Prison. The judge is scheduled to sentence the judge is scheduled to sentence pardon on March 16th. I think that's still the date. Does that sound familiar? I think that's what I see. Well, the other verdict was the Weinstein one, Danette. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. I want this one. Yeah, we had two verdicts, but were you there when I put when the verdict came down for Weinstein in the room, which caused a lot of non-regulars to say they wish that Weinstein would just go away. I think we're there now. Weinstein will now go away. Yeah. No one could forget about him here. It was a madhouse during that. It was a great job that Law and Crime did with that whole thing, with Jesse at the courthouse, Aaron going back and forth and going to the courthouse, and everybody stepping in and doing, stepping in for Jesse. It was great. We had a great crew, great team, did a great job on the Harvey Weinstein info coverage. No. I'll see if I'll find Kathy's thing again. See if I can find Kathy posted it all. Let's see here. So we got that. And then we got it was yes, 6 weeks until sentencing. Oh wait, I typed that. No, I put that in. Duh. I read my own post. Oh, yeah, we still have to go through that. Yes. Weinstein, like Jodi Arias, the gift that keeps on giving. So I just wanted to hop on a little bit and just say hi a tad before I go eat dinner. Yeah, on the Kobe. Where is it? Hold on, I lost my train. Where'd you go? Somebody mentioned the Kobe thing. Where'd it go? There it is. We had the Kobe Memorial at Staples Center today. That's why I didn't take my own car downtown. Too much traffic. I could not watch that. I couldn't. It was just, I've given up watching the memorials. This has been a bad year for that, and I just had a little bit of hard time the last couple days with emotions and whatnot and that kind of thing over stuff that's happened this year. So I just decided not to. I watched on Saturday we watched Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know if you've seen that one. That was an excellent movie. I bawled my eyes out through the whole thing. Yeah, I can't do sad. Sad. I like the way they ended it. They ended it with him on stage, and that really was a lot easier for me. If they'd ended with him sick in bed, that would have been hard for me. So just in case it says, I passed by the memorial today. Media had helicopters overhead. Thought that was not a good call. I don't know. Media is everywhere. If you live in the public eye, there's going to be media, you know. So hi there, Tropis. I cannot say that. Nina from Georgia. Thank you, Addie Logheim, for the Burns trial info. I found that trial to be boring except for the DNA info. Well, the whole trial was pretty much about, I mean, it was pretty much about the DNA because that's what they had. That's what they were waiting for. 40 years of waiting for the DNA stuff to advance so that, they could come up with they could bring it forward and bring it to trial. So it was interesting, though. And I do hope we do more cold cases. I hope Law and Crime does more cold cases. That would be cool. Justin says, too many siblings' death anniversaries between December and February. I've been re-grieving. I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, 2019 was the worst year of my life. I probably shouldn't say that because that leaves me open for whatever, but it was. And I'm sorry to hear that, Justin. It's cruddy when stuff happens. Oh, you made a good point. I didn't even think about that. Justin says, but to listen to the helicopters after that helicopter accident, maybe I'm too sensitive. I didn't even think about that. I wouldn't have put that together. I didn't even think about that. But you make a good point. Topia says, latency is whack today. I have no idea. And Nina says, I agree. I'm usually absolutely fascinated by cold cases being solved. This is I think this may be, if I'm thinking back, and I think this is the first cold case that we've done, that Law and Crime has done. I'll have to ask. I think so. And I'm hoping we do more. Especially with advancement with the DNA stuff, because a lot of these old cases rely on the DNA, like the straw, the fact that they had his straw when he was sitting at the restaurant and then they snagged the straw after he left. That was genius. Justin says, yes, the media everywhere, I understand, but for the families, someone should have thought that through. Example, helicopters. Yeah. Poor yeah, I feel bad for the Bryant family. Ugh. So. I do believe that a judge, don't quote me on this question. Can a judge ever change sentences after jury? I do believe that the judge has the final say, and I do believe that that is something that they can do, but I have yet to see it since we've been doing trials. Usually a judge will go with the verdict of the jury. So Sheryl says the rabbit fur jacket and the murder at the mall made me think back to a time, although how creepy. That was kind of, when they mentioned rabbit fur on the dress, you remember where my mind went? I didn't even think about coat, like jacket. I was thinking, all I heard was rabbit fur, and my first thought was, oh, she has a pet bunny. Oh, yes. Oops, that's, yeah. I would never own a real fur, so it didn't even cross my mind. I mean, if anybody does, I'm not upset about it. Like, I mean, I have no issue with leather shoes. I'm not that bad. It never crossed my mind. In 79, I was born in 67. So I was 12 in 79? Take care. Love you, Justin. Talk to you later. I'm 12 years older than you, Danette. Oh, no. I'm good with Muppet fur. I like Muppet fur. Debbie's older than I am. I'm always the oldest one. I'm the oldest in my house. My husband's 3 years younger than I am. And I'm usually older than all of our friends. Hi, Tandi. You're welcome. We at Law and Crime have a great team, don't we? Yeah, Sheryl says, thinking how different things were back in time. Yes. That's the neat thing about these trials, though. The pictures and everything, like how they were taken and what the photos look like, really brings back a lot of memories. If you remember, your own pictures growing up and stuff, they always had that old, if you look at them now, they're really cool. I don't have a lot of baby pictures, very few. I have very few pictures of me growing up at all. Most of the pictures that our family had were on, what do you call them, slides. And so there's no way to get copies of that unless they go in and do that. And my parents have not. I don't even know if they still have the slides. I would assume they do, but I got a few baby pictures when I got kicked out of the house. But I was trying to set up a meeting with my biological mother. I'm adopted. And so back in the 90s, I thought, hey, this Maury Povich guy, maybe he'll help me and my mom meet each other. So I sent him pictures thinking, this is my family. I would like to be on your show. Only problem is I sent the originals. That was really not smart. So I lost all those pictures because the Maury Povich show did not send them back. So they were the only baby pictures I had. So very sad. So don't ever do that. Don't ever send your original pictures anywhere. Well, I'm sure they don't anymore. They probably just, yeah, it didn't dawn on me that I shouldn't have done that. Lesson learned. No, that was in the 90s. That was, what is this? That was like 94. No, yeah. Yeah, because my son was born in 93. It was about 94. So, yeah, they're long gone. They were long gone right after I sent them. Hi, Michelle. Yes, appreciate you too. Jovan Musk was one of my Tandi says, my mother wore Jovan Musk. Man, that brings back memories. That's actually one of my favorites. I love anything that smells like that musk. My mom's perfume was an Estee Lauder. I don't know if it was a kind of a slender bottle with a little waist to it that had a little silver uh, bow tie around it. I can't remember but I know it was an Estee Lauder. That stuff, I loved the smell of that. That was my favorite. That was back in the 70s, 80s. Oops, wrong one. Where'd you go? Come here. This one. Nina asked, were you ever able to reunite with your family members? Yes, I should do a video on that. My husband paid for a trip for me to go, for us all four of us, my two sons and my husband and myself, to fly. Sorry. Ah, I got a flappy. He paid for me to go to Florida to meet my biological family. Sadly, it was a year after my biological mother had passed away. She died of sepsis, the same stuff that I was just sick with for the second time when I was in the hospital a couple weeks ago. But she died from sepsis a year before. This was in 2017 when he paid for us to go to Florida. And so I met I have three siblings. I have a fourth sibling who was also adopted out 2 years after I'm the oldest of all the siblings. I was born in 67. My mother was 14 years old when she conceived me. Brand new 14, just like 3 weeks into her 14th birthday when she conceived me. My biological father was 17, and I have not met him. I know his name, but I've never met him. I've never tried to contact him. But I met my sister. I have two sisters and a brother, and met them. And I met all of my aunts, cousins, nieces, nephews. I have a whole slew of family in Jacksonville, Florida. In fact, I did the 23andMe. I have over 100 DNA relatives there on the 23andMe thing. So, but I've gotten in contact with a couple DNA relatives from that. But yeah, my siblings and my aunt and I, we all look so much alike. I'd never looked like anybody growing up my entire life. I was adopted at birth, so I never looked like anybody. And I never even saw myself in my own kids until I met my biological family and began to see myself in them. And then I started seeing how their kids look like my kids. My boys are the spitting image of my sisters. It's like looking at twins. My biological mother and I are almost identical in looks. In fact, if you look at our pictures, side by side, you'd never know. You can't tell the difference between me and my biological mother when we were younger. In the younger pictures, especially the older ones, but we look very much alike. Everyone always is. And when I showed up, and when I got there, it was a cry fest because they had just lost our mother a year prior, so they were still in the mourning stage of losing mom. And we got in town in Florida and met. I arranged to have us meet at my favorite place growing up in Jacksonville, and that was Crystal Burger. We met at a Crystal's, and that's how I met my sister for the first time. It was very emotional, and it was very. I love my family. Danette says 23andMe was way more successful than Ancestry for us. We did both to test it all out. Yeah, I haven't done that much with it. I did it. My son wanted me to do it because he wanted to see what my heritage was, my nationality, or whatever you call it. And that's when we found out that I'm Portuguese and Latin or Spanish, or I got all. I mean, my main thing is Irish, French, and German, but I'm also Portuguese and Spanish. I told my husband that's why I like Mexican food, even though it has nothing to do with that. Nina says, oh goodness, I'm so sorry. My mom also died of sepsis in September 2018. I've been terribly depressed since then. You've got a big family. Do y'all keep in touch? We are, yes, through Facebook. We post and stuff, and I mean, I don't talk to them that often. I should do better. I'm not very good at communication, and it seems that neither are my siblings. It seems to run in the family. I forget. I am not a keeper-upper. Probably has to do with autism. But I don't think of things like that until, when somebody will say, we need to keep in touch better. And oh, yes, I should probably work on that. So I'm not good at the friending thing. But I would like to keep in contact with them more often. We are hoping to plan another trip. This last hospital stay sort of set us back a bit. It's a big bull. Ugh. Not having insurance stinks when you have to be in the hospital. So Cheryl says, my dad just died a few months ago, and I never knew him when I was a kid. Very emotional losing a parent. It is. It's emotional losing family in either direction, parents, siblings, and my biological mother. Yeah, I had only talked to her on the phone, and for about 7 years, I didn't talk to her because of some stuff that had happened in my adoptive family. We had some issues and still have issues there. So I deal with stuff with that. And I have not spoken to my adoptive parents in over 15 years. They disowned me over 15 years ago when my son was about the time my youngest was born, over religious differences. So they're still alive. I just have no communication with them. So and Danette says, my gosh, insurance issues can be so stressful. They are. The healthcare situation is really not good. It stinks when you're at a point, like earning and whatever, where you can't afford insurance, but then you can't afford to live without it either. My husband has it for himself through work, but the deductible is so high he can't use it. So He might as well not have it. Stop sending money to terroristic countries and leadership. Tracy says, I don't have insurance either. I have a few medical issues, but can only go to a doctor a couple times a year. Meds are expensive too. Yes, I have it where I can go to something here called CHAS, CHAS. It's for people who are uninsured or low income and that kind of thing. My son goes there. They accept him because he has an IEP for autism. So he's always been on the state stuff because of that IEP. So he's always been able to just go to CHAS if we need to take him somewhere. But that's where I go now, is I just use the state stuff and we pay out of pocket. But this last time I had to go to the hospital. I was put in the emergency room and ended up 3 days in the hospital with sepsis, kidney infection that went into my blood. It was not good. And I was passing a stone at the same time. That was painful. Danette says, we need to figure it out. Yes, the deductible makes it a scam almost. It's insane. Very true. I don't know what's the best choice for them to figure out insurance stuff. I don't know. And another thing, I agree on this. We need a better way. Hardworking people and not good insurance options is no way of life. Absolutely. My husband works his rear end off, and we still fall in that middle line area where you earn too much to get help with insurance and you earn too little to be able to afford insurance. That middle range. Hi, Brooke. And Nina says, haven't had a friend in about 10 years. The neighbors aren't friendly either. On top of that, when I comment on videos, I usually get trolled. Whoa. I'm sorry to hear that, Nina. My friends are all online. Or I have one neighbor, the neighbors next door, that they come over occasionally and we'll do like game night or something, but that's very rare. I don't do well in crowds, and I'm not very good at friending. I wish I were. What do you call it? Like, I'm a antisocial, wannabe social person. Not good at it, but want to be good at it. I've always been that way. Part of it is because that's how we were raised. My brothers and I were raised very secluded. So we didn't get much time with friends and that kind of stuff. It was mostly just the four siblings together. Because I was raised in a cult, the Jehovah's Witness cult. But I escaped it while I got kicked out. But my husband helped me get kicked out. And Debbie, you're introvert, but you try not to be. Don't you hate that? I'm better with one person if I'm comfortable with them. I'm not good with more than that. I don't know how to do more than one friend at a time. I try. I mean, I have the mods, Kit Kat from our other chat, and Bones. I consider them friend. Kathy is my dearest friend. I have a friend that lives 2 hours from me. I've known her since 1930. Holy crud. That's not what I meant. I've known her since 1983. She's my longest time friend. I have other people that I know from back then, but I'm not really that, like real friends. I just kind of every now and again on Facebook, I'll see a post from them. But yes, my friend Becky, if you go to the front of this channel, her channel is connected on the front under right below the one for the network. That's Rebecca Tiger Fanatic. She's my best friend. She lives 2 hours from me. She's ill health, got lots of stuff wrong with her. She's a major survivor of everything. She's got so much going on, and she's just an amazing person. But she and her son were, for a little while, were doing mukbang videos. I'm not a fan of them, but I support her anyway. but yeah, she's my longest running friend. Well, that Sheryl says, I got kicked out of a domestic violence shelter for disagreement with a Jehovah's Witness caseworker. Oh, the caseworker was a Jehovah's Witness? Is that what you're saying? I'm sorry that happened. Yeah, I was a third generation JW. The family that I was born from were also JWs. I was adopted into a family who were JWs. And I'm friends with the woman who was responsible for my adoption. At the time, she was 18 years old, working for a lawyer, and she was a Jehovah's Witness. And she'd heard about a family in her congregation who wanted to adopt a baby, so she contacted the family, and that's how that happened. I got adopted from one into another, and my adoptive family, my grandparents on both sides, and my parents, all JWs. But my mom really had a hard time with the beliefs of the JWs. She really started struggling back in the 70s. She started struggling with her beliefs and whatnot, and started questioning them. And once you start questioning the Jehovah's Witnesses, they pretty much don't like that. And so they basically ended up it took her from the 70s until 1992 or 93, I can't remember which, to maybe it was somewhere around there, to finally disassociate themselves. So my mom, my dad, and my three brothers all left, along with another friend and her daughters and granddaughter. So a bunch of us left at the same time. But then my mom ended up going into some other strange belief stuff. So we dealt with that for a while, for about 10 years of that. It's all the doomsday stuff, So, well, I'm starting to need food. So, Anywho, I think I'm going to call it an evening. It's good chatting with everybody. You know, take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the morning. Thank you for putting up with me. Tomorrow is the new trial. I'm not sure on the time yet, because I don't know what I'll have to find out. And when Kathy tweets out the info, I'll tweet it out. I'll retweet her, or you can follow her at Kathy Russin. So but I'm sure she'll have it out. So if you look under, I talked about that at the beginning of this live. That if you look at under the playlist for this name, KYYFLEISCHAUER trial. That's the name of the trial. I have the jury instructions and prosecution openings on there now. They happened earlier today. We had some issues going with technical stuff, so we're still trying to figure stuff out and deal with that. Yes, his name is pronounced Fly Shower. But there's a little bit of info in the description of those two videos that are up there. So, anywho, my husband. My husband's favorite is German chocolate cake. His mom makes him one every year for his birthday. I don't bake, so his mom does it. So, anywho, I will see you all in the morning. Have a great night. Love and kisses. Bye. And we're out.